I'm totally down for however long however long you want.
Okay, it's like sex. We're gonna both know when it's over. Hopefully.
Right, perfect.
I'm a boomer, so that you might have to, hit me up against the headboard for me to get it, but still. All
Sounds
right.
good. We'll feel out the energy, and then yeah.
I'll let you be in charge since I'm a boomer.
It sounds good.
You guys, welcome to Facebook's another attempt, number 729 of Comic Spot. I'm Linda Marcus Smith, your host. This show is only brought to you because I have a sponsor. Finally, I've arrived, Gene. I have a sponsor, ahabroadway.org. So if you're a child, if you're a senior, if you're a military veteran, or anything in between, go to ahabroadway.org. They're in New York and they're also virtual. They'll help you with improv, stand-up. They'll help you with acting. I don't know what else they can help you with. Just go there. Your fingers won't hurt typing in your search bar, ahabroadway.org, and let them help you with what you might need. How's that? Okay, so today, episode number 729 is this gentleman in the other square. It says Gene Infante, but his real stage name is Gene Wilder. And let me read you his intro because it's a good one. Mind-bending electronica rock meets heavy gates pop bliss, featuring actor and comedian Andy Dick. We all know and love Andy Dick, who makes you embrace the dark side while playing the slide whistle in Gene Wilder's Vacation. That's the name of the electronica group that meets rock. Gene Wilder's Vacation. Let's see, playing the slide whistle in Gene Wilder's Vacation's new banger, I'm Not Better Than Anyone. So that's the new name of your new album?
Just a new song. A new song.
Thank you. I'm old. You got to really draw it out for me. It's like VHAS, V8, whatever it is. I don't know. Carved from a music. Yeah, Neil Diamond was my favorite. That's how old I am.
Nice. You're not old, Linda. You're not old.
70.
You're 70 years young. 70 years young.
There we go. Now that's a new compliment. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for coming to Comic Spot, Gene Wilder, from Gene Wilder's Vacation.
Thank you for having me.
What do you have to say about where you're at in life right now? This is a philosophical, not related to music or not related to Andy Dick. Where are you at with your life, a pandemic? Where do you live? What's going on with you today, this month, this year?
Good question. I'm 35 years old, single, and living with one other roommate, and I'm in Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
Wow.
And I love my job. I love my friends and family. Everything is going great, and I'm just trying to focus still on my music. No matter, I'll still be, even when I'm 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, I'm still going to be making music. I'm never going to stop. So that's my main focus, and it'll always be my passion.
Well, let's go back in time to the music scenario then. Where in the world did you start? Did you accidentally drop a spoon on a pot one day and go, wow, music? How did music come into your life?
It was when I was in third grade. My friend made me listen to an Aerosmith song on his Walkman, a cassette tape from Aerosmith. It was their 1993 album, Get a Grip, and it was the song Eat the Rich. I was in third grade, and when I first heard that song, I was like, oh my God, music can actually be an amazing thing. That's when it hit me, and that's when my life changed forever. Since I heard Aerosmith is the one that did it for me.
I love Aerosmith. Oh my gosh. Have you ever gotten to meet any of them from Aerosmith?
No, I have not. Unfortunately, I would love to meet Steven Tyler. In fact, whenever I get the question, like if you could meet anyone in the world, if you were to be starstruck by anyone, my answer is always I would be starstruck if I met Steven Tyler.
What would you say to him if you got to meet him?
I don't even know. I feel like he's like the only celebrity that I would actually fumble and like stutter and like not think of what to say. I feel like
Wow.
Steven Tyler. So it's like to me, I feel like he is the definition of a rock star.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you grew up and you had an appreciation for Aerosmith and definitely a fascination with Steven Tyler. Who did you model your scenario, your brand after, or was it just something that is you?
The music that I create now is a combination of all the hundreds of strange new bands that I've had the opportunity and pleasure of hearing over. I have so many influences I can't even count. I take a little bit of everything from literally everyone, every genre. I have so many influences. It's well, yeah. This is what I'm doing now. I've always been a drummer. I've always been a drummer in a band. I've been in a touring rock and roll and metal band for most of my life, but I realized that drumming wasn't my passion. I have too many thoughts and ideas, so I wanted to make my own music where I'm in charge. I write everything. I'm the entire songwriter, and so that's why I am not pursuing drums anymore. I just want to do my own thing where I write everything. So I write all the music for Gene Wilder's Vacation, and then I have my friend when I play a show. I just have my friends play with me live, but I still write everything.
Wow. What would you say has helped you to have the creative, like if you get a block and you can't create, what has helped you through mental blocks or writing magic? What things have helped you besides good weed? That's an easy joke.
Smoking lots of marijuana and while drinking wine.
Is there something you've written that you would say is the thing you're famous for? Or that's been overlooked that you'd want to be your signature piece that people haven't caught on to that is really your heartbeat?
Honestly, I feel like my new song that I just released featuring Andy, I feel like it is the most me. It's the most of my personality. It's because when I started doing this project a few years ago, I was still testing things out, seeing like figuring out my sound. And I feel like this new song that I just put out is finally like, okay, this is my sound. So definitely my newest song that I just put out, I'm Not Better Than Anyone.
Wow. Well, let me get into the whole Andy Dick thing because many of the comedians here are going to be looking at this. If they haven't heard that Andy Dick is a part of your group, they are going to know it now. It probably a lot of them are more woke than I am. But how is it that you and Andy Dick partnered up if you're not a part of the comedy community?
That's a very good question. And of course, my most commonly asked question.
Great. That's
So,
great. Thanks.
and everyone's always like, what did you do a cameo with him? Did you get a cameo with him? And the answer to that is, my friends, my best friends knew that I've always been a fan of Andy's, and yes, they got me a cameo with Andy for my birthday, and part of the cameo request was my best friend Gene. You know, he's pursuing music now. He, please give him a happy birthday shout out. Check out his music. And in Andy's cameo, he said he really liked the music and that he would like to put it in one of his next movies. So then I reached out to Andy. I sent him a message online saying, "Hey, Andy, I got the cameo my friends got me for my birthday. How can I send you my music so you can use?" And then that's when we exchanged, our numbers. And then we spoke on the phone. And then he said, "Why don't you just come to?" I asked him, actually, I would love to, because I know that he plays the slide whistle. He's done the slide whistle on um, certain like interviews and shows. Like that's like his instrument, if you will. He likes to do the slide whistle. So I asked him, like, "Andy, could you do a guest slide whistle feature on one of my new songs?" And he was like, "Absolutely. Why don't you come fly out to LA, stay with me, and we'll record it?" So I was like, all right. So I flew out to LA, and I actually stayed and lived with Andy for 4 days, and which was a lot of fun, as you can imagine. And that's when I recorded all of his vocal parts and slide whistle parts from I actually lived and stayed with Andy for 4 days.
Wow, what a great story that is. So he's a good egg. He's very willing to do that.
Yes, and in fact, what Andy and I are actually talking about, writing an entire album together.
Oh, cool. We have that to look forward to. What's
Yes.
it like being friends with Andy Dick? 99% of us comedians have no idea what that's like.
It's pretty much it's very interesting. It's what everyone is assuming what it would be like.
Yes.
Andy is
Is he eccentric?
he is um, he's extremely eccentric. He is it's not an act or a facade that he puts on. He actually he is as eccentric as the media portrays him. Um,
He's serious.
he is yeah, he is. I love him. He is. I feel like he's is like hanging out with a cartoon character. He really is like hanging out with a cartoon character.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
In fact,
Being around,
I was going to say the first day when we flew out to LA, we actually went to. He wanted to bring me to a toy store. It's called Kip's Toyland, which is LA's oldest and most famous toy store. Because he wanted to get a nicer slide whistle. Because he has a few slide whistles already, but he wanted to get a nicer one for the song. So he's like, I know of this really great place, Kip's Toyland. So we went there. And I ended up buying him Gumby and Chattering Teeth as a gift. I saw like Andy was like looking at him. He really liked him. Was like, and Andy, I'm going to get this for you. And his eyes just and his smile, it made him very happy. So I bought Andy Gumby and Chattering Teeth as a thank you for doing the guest parts in my song.
that's so cool. In the 50s, those chattering teeth came out.
Oh,
And
really?
my mother used to yell at my dad nonstop. And my dad never listened. And then those teeth came out, and he brought those home for Christmas one year and gave them to her. And it was funny at the time for us kids to see my dad give my mom this chattering teeth thing. But looking back, it probably was a bit of a bully to her. Yeah.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that was it started, that toy idea from the 50s. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think I was probably, I was born in 51. So I think when I was 7 or 8, those chattering teeth were on the table at Christmas time.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
Gumby, oh my gosh, what an iconic thing to buy him.
Exactly. And which is also why, so I'm also in the middle of making a music video for the song. And because of the getting Gumby for Andy, I decided, and how much Andy loves Gumby, I decided to incorporate Gumby in my music video. So I got the Gumby myself.
Oh,
And what I'm doing in the video is actually I'm going to be setting Gumby on fire with a flamethrower. So it's Gumby going to be melting, and it's not killing Andy. I'm sorry, it's not killing Gumby. It's only changing Gumby's formation.
That's hilarious. That's going to be fabulous. What else do you have in mind with your music that doesn't include Andy Dick?
Playing as many shows as possible in 2021. Now that the COVID restrictions are lightening up, now, like, the bands can play again, bands can resume going on tour again. My plan is to try and play as many shows as possible, putting out new music, including with Andy. But that's going to be my main focus, is just trying to now finally that COVID is, I mean, it keeps on going back and forth, but at least now musicians can actually start resuming tours and shows again.
Absolutely. So do you have some upcoming shows that you want to tell people about?
I don't have a confirmation of the exact the next one. It's going to be in New Jersey. I don't have any tour dates yet at the moment, but there is going to be anyone that's in the New Jersey area. I'm like 30 minutes from Manhattan.
That's great.
So it'll be around the North Jersey area. It'll be a local show that I'll be announcing soon on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and so forth.
So all of your social media is under Gene Wilder's Vacation?
Yes, yeah. So if anyone is interested, checking me out online, it's Gene Wilder's Vacation on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everything. Gene Wilder's Vacation.
That's wonderful. So do you plan on coming to Vegas? That's where I live.
Eventually, I do plan on that. In fact, I would probably make a stop, because once I fly out to meet with Andy again to work on some more songs, I would want to make a few stops along the way. So that's very possible.
So I'll have to do like everybody else and keep track of where you're at on your social media. So I'm going to click follow to make sure that I do that.
Yes.
Now you've made me into a fan, and I'm like from the era of before Neil Diamond.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Who was the first musical concert you ever went to?
The first musical concert I ever went to, I think, was actually the band Korn.
I heard Korn.
Korn, yeah. I think I was in like fifth grade. I think I was like, how old are you in fifth grade? I don't even remember. Are you like 12?
11 or 12, yeah.
Something like that. It was I remember it was Korn and Stained. I remember. Both bands, I don't listen to that music anymore, but that was the first live music that I've ever seen. What about you? Who's the first live band you've ever seen?
Herman's Hermits.
Who? I'm sorry, who?
Herman's Hermits.
Herman's Hermit. I'm not familiar.
Yeah. And they were like right before the Beatles. The Beatles knocked them out of the way. And yeah, I went and saw them. And the radio station, I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. And when I was in high school, the radio station had a contest. And on the old sitcom, Leave It to Beaver, the older brother, Wally, he made it as class president with the campaign slogan, "Just vote for me." And this radio station was having a contest. So I put on a card, I said, "Vote for me," sent it in. And the night that I'll tell you what it's for in a minute. And the night that they were calling to see who was going to win a date with David Cassidy at 6:00 p.m., my phone rang. So my phone rings to the radio station. Ring, ring. I knew I was going to win. don't want to do that. If you get a premonition, don't do that. It sounds really arrogant. I knew it. And I got to meet David Cassidy, and he was a bore. He was
Really?
egotistical. I was a high schooler. He was a high schooler, and he was there to meet the young. He was the grand marshal of our Rose Parade, and the kids that were my age, the queen and the court, they were all his age, and he didn't care about that. He was over talking to the ones that were younger that we should have known back then what his life was going to be like. He was out of the box.
Interesting. That's funny. That's funny.
So yeah, my first concerts. So I just started following Neil Diamond, and he left me alone, and he just did his thing and got off stage.
I can imagine. Neil, I am a fan of Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond is good.
Me too. Tell me who in the world, poet, songwriter, whose words across the board, more often than not, have guided your life, touched others, Because for me, it's Neil Diamond. I could care less what he looked like. Those words, the lyrics.
As far as lyrics go, it would have to be a band called Every Time I Die.
Really?
Yes, yeah, they're hardcore, metalcore, angry, screaming. No, well, it's a lot of yelling, and screaming. But he was before he was the front man, he was an English teacher, so he's very well spoken.
Wow, cool.
But, yeah,
so those lyrics meant something to you because they were well written, or they were like a knife cutting into your growing heart? Were you in a formative period of life where it was helping you through times in your life, or?
Yeah, pretty much yes. All of the above, yes. He's so well written. Everything that you hear, it's like you can see it. It's like watching a movie. Anything that you hear him yell or scream, I can see it, and that's what's fascinating and what makes him stand out, especially in that genre of that noise, yelling, screaming genre. It's very visual. I can see it. I see this insane movie being played in any song that he writes.
I'll have to go check that out.
If you're into any yelling or screaming music.
I'm interested now in that. I like you, so I'm going to be interested in something that you like. And also, if he can take yelling and screaming and make it palatable because of the strength of his persona or painting a vivid picture, that's a talent.
Yes, exactly. And they've been a band for over 20 years. So that really says a lot. Most bands in that genre, they're only popular or in the scene for 2 or 3 years, but they're still doing it. They started in, I think, 2001 or 2000. So that says something right there. The fact that they're still going and they just keep on getting more popular. One of their songs was actually even in remember that video game Guitar Hero?
Yes.
One of a song on Guitar Hero as well.
Oh, Every Time You Die, or Every Time I Die?
Every Time I Die.
Every Time I Die. I will be sure to go look them up.
Cool. Please, yeah.
Now I'm a fan of yours, and I'm a fan of your musical group, and I will be following your career, and I'll make sure that other people know of it. So when new stuff comes out, I'll share that. What would you like to say to people? What do you want to accomplish? How are you different than any other songwriter, musician, showman? What I want you to get a chance without me pressuring you to say what I want, to talk to people. Like, tell people who you are and what you feel, what you're trying to accomplish in life through your music, anything you want to say.
I would say what separates my music from other music is how weird it is, and it actually is different. You can if you listen to any Gene Wilder's Vacation songs, you can say like, oh wow, that doesn't sound like something I've heard. This is something new. And I always want how I always felt about music is if a song can change how you feel, then it's a powerful and good song. And that's what I do with my music, is whether it be depressing, sad, angry, happy, it changes your emotion. Whatever you're feeling in the moment, if you hear any of my songs, you'll most likely change how you're feeling when you hear it.
That's crazy. Because coming from the era I did, you played music that matched your emotion. You know, if I was sad, I'd turn on a sad Neil Times song sung blue. That's great if you're sad, you know. But to trust an artist to change my emotions, wow, that's powerful. And it could be used for good or evil, but I imagine that you're just using it to take people on a magic carpet ride.
That's exactly what I want. I want to take people on a magic carpet ride. That's a good way to overall explain the music of Gene Wilder's Vacation.
That's beautiful. What are some crazy things that have happened when you've been doing music? Like, without naming the club or the people, but good or odd stuff that's happened or what you've learned. It's kind of like what I asked the comedians, but it's tailored to your music. Biggest lesson you learned, most difficult scenario. What would you do better, different, that could have chopped off a lot of learning time? Any of that?
That is a very good question. Well, the first thing that comes to mind was bands that you're touring with. Even though you're touring with them, you still can't trust them 100% because they can steal. They're capable of stealing things and being grimy, whether it be stealing from equipment from the venue you're playing at, or just stealing anything in general. Just because you're touring with the band doesn't mean that they're cool to hang out with, doesn't mean you can trust them 100% still. They can still be not safe to tour or be around with. That's I would say something new that I learned in the music industry.
That's important to know, to remember.
And it actually just reminded me, another thing that separates me apart from other live acts is that part of my live act is that I set pineapples on fire when I play live. And I only do so with venues that let me do it. Of course, not a lot of places are going to allow that. And it's only been when I'm playing outside, usually only outside places. But that's part of my act, is I always set pineapples on fire.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
It was an idea. I'm a big David Lynch fan. I'm a huge David Lynch fan, and even though David Lynch has never actually lit any pineapples on fire in any of his movies, his brain and his weirdness, I feel like, influenced my brain to think of the idea of doing that, because to me, watching a pineapple on fire is something beautiful to look at.
Really? I've never seen one on fire, so explain to me how it's beautiful.
I guess it's the fact that of seeing something on fire that I guess shouldn't be, or not usually is, and it just aesthetically, it's a beautiful thing to look at. So that's why you'll see the pineapples in the even in the press shots that I sent, me holding the pineapple, and even in the artwork, the animated artwork for my song. That's my, I guess you could say, my brand. That's part of my brand marketing is pineapples, because that's my thing. So hopefully new venues that book me, you will allow me to set a pineapple on fire at your venue.
Wow. Where does somebody get a hold of you professionally to book you?
My email, which is genewildersvacation@gmail.com.
Okay. And so what are you trying to, what kind of bookings are you trying for right now? Anything now that the world's opening up that'll let you burn a pineapple?
Yeah, I guess it's going to be any venues that are due, usually like it's like bars that'll have shows outside in the parking lot, open the parking lot up to let live music play. That would be my target, because I can't imagine any venue that's going to let me set something on fire inside their building. So I'm yeah, targeting and looking for places that where I can play outside.
Got it. And that there's a lot of venues that have outside performances now because of COVID. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's good. So how is your music, except you're burning a pineapple, how does that go over in Hawaii?
That is a good question. I'm sure that they would appreciate it very much, and I would love to play in Hawaii. That's a goal of mine, to eventually perform in Hawaii. That would be perfect.
Yeah, like a pineapple fest or something, like
Exactly.
be the closing act.
In fact, what would be really cool is if I can just set a palm tree on fire, an entire palm tree on fire. If I can, somewhere, like if we're playing in the sand somewhere and we have at least one palm tree in the vicinity of where we have set up, if I can just set the entire palm tree on fire, that would be even better.
You're serious, and I'm seeing the funny in it. But you're serious. Because aesthetically it would be beautiful.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's art to me, and that's part of my my art in Gene Wilder's Vacation.
So have people wondered if you're a pyromaniac?
Yes. People think that I'm out of my goddamn mind. Yes.
Did you ever see the show, the sitcom Friends, and Phoebe's half brother that set everything on fire?
I have not. I've seen Friends, but I have not seen that episode.
It's hysterical, the stuff he got into.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
All right. Well, I'll be off checking out the things you told me about. Every time I die. Gene Wilder's Vacation is going to get the major play in my place as soon as I get out of here off of this.
Awesome.
So in closing, where do you want the most amount of traffic? How do you want people to help you? Help you book shows? Come when you're booked? I
would say Spotify and YouTube. And if you enjoy my music, to hit the follow on Spotify, because I feel like all these other streaming websites like Apple Music and everything, they don't have the community that Spotify does, where you can actually help build a fan base. There's actually a community with Spotify. So if you enjoy what I do, please check me out on Spotify or YouTube. Those would be the two main websites I would say to follow and check out if you're into it.
Perfect. I'm on Spotify, and I will go and click like to that and put that on the post for people to follow you on Spotify and YouTube.
Yep. To subscribe to my YouTube, so you can see the next thing I'm posting on YouTube it's going to be a lyric video.
A what video?
A lyric video.
What's that?
So it's going to be It's going to be in animation. It's one of my friends, Ed Bersano. You can check him out. He does music at Ed Bersano Design or at Ed Bersano Music. One of my best friends. He actually helped do the animation in the visualizer audio clip of the YouTube link that I sent you. I'm going to be doing a video of all animation, and Andy's going to be in it. It's going to be animation of a you're going to see a street, and you're going to see pill bottles walking down the street, and Andy is going to be in the sky with devil horns, and he's going to be popping up over the clouds and looking over to see what's going on. And you just see flashes of all the lyrics of my song. As the song goes on, you can read all the words. I'll be posting that in probably like a month or so. And then I have the official music video after that.
Wonderful. My gosh, talking to a genius here. Oh my gosh. Gene Wilder from Gene Wilder's Vacation. Has this been the interview that has been divergent from talking to one comedian after another? Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. It has. I loved all your questions. This has been a blast, and I very much appreciate this opportunity, Linda.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Come back when you have other, in a month or 2 months, whenever you have new stuff, come back and plug it.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you.
absolutely will.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All my best to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda.
Bye.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you, Gene. Gene
Goodbye.
Wilder.